If you want a 7-seater MPV, you could go for something basic and budget priced like the Xpander, the Ertiga, the Avanza, all priced under 1.4 million pesos. Or you could go for something like the Hyundai Custin, priced at 1.9 million pesos. There seems to be very few sensible options in between. This is the GAC M6 Pro. It's priced to fill in that gap. Is it worth your money? Let's find out. The GAC M6 Pro comes in two variants. For this video, we'll be focusing on the top-of-the-line variant, the GL. Now, compared to GAC's recent designs of the M2, the M Zoom, and the M8, this looks a lot more tame. It's not quite as aggressive or as angular. It doesn't go for rugged like the Xpander Cross. It doesn't go for futuristic like the Stargazer. It's a much more subtle, much more stately look, especially in this black color with these 18-inch polished wheels and these chrome accents. It just almost looks like a VIP car. At the front, you get this huge rectangular grille with gloss black elements at the center and outlined by these chrome accents over here. Now, the chrome accents connect with the DRL, so it looks like you have one long DRL that goes all the way to the bottom. Now, I wish they actually extended the DRL all the way to the bottom. I think that would make the car look a lot more striking. The M6 Pro is 4,793 millimeters long. That's almost 200 millimeters longer than the Xpander. Now, because of its length, it almost looks like a minivan, something like the Hyundai Custin, but it doesn't have sliding doors as you might expect. All the doors open this way. They do open quite wide though for easier entry, and because it's solo, it's going to be easier for seniors to enter. You got these polished two-tone 18-inch wheels wrapped in 205 50 series Michelin tires. And you also get independent suspension on all four corners. Here at the back, the styling is typical of most minivans. You get a square-shaped cross-section. You get this LED light bar over here. You have M6 Pro badging over here, and underneath that, it says 270T. Now, if you're wondering what that number means, that's just the torque figure of the vehicle. This has 270 Newton meters of torque. Now, since the vehicle is so high-tech, I was expecting this to have a power liftgate, but this only comes with a manual liftgate. Now, space back here is one of the biggest that you can get in its price bracket. You don't really fold the seats as much as you flip it over. So to fold the seats, the first thing you do is you pull on these over here. And that's not where it ends. If you pull on this right here, the entire seat assembly folds inwards like so. Now, the advantage of this is that you get a much lower flooring than any of its competitors. With a third row down, you get 1,100 liters of cargo space, which is a lot more than entry-level MPVs like the Xpander, which only get 750 liters of cargo space with a third row down. Because the M6 Pro has captain seats which don't fold completely flat, entry-level MPVs like the Xpander have the advantage in terms of maximum cargo space when you fold all the seats down. Under the hood is the same engine that powers the M2, the M Zoom, and the MPV. It's a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that puts out 174 horsepower and 270 Newton meters of torque. This is the most powerful engine in its price bracket. Like the M2, the M Zoom, and the MPV, it's also coupled to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Now, compared to a lot of its competitors in the segment, I think this interior definitely looks and feels a lot more premium and a lot more modern. You get this brown and black color scheme. The top of the dashboard is made of hard plastic. This is also hard plastic over here. But this part of the dashboard is made of soft touch material. The sidings are covered in leather. The armrests are nicely padded. The seats are covered in leather. The passenger seat is manually adjustable, but the driver's seat has all power adjustments. You can move it forward and back. You can recline it, of course, and you can also adjust the seat height. Now all the adjustments here are electric. You also get this leather-wrapped steering wheel. It tilts, but it doesn't telescope. You don't have paddle shifters. Now this gets full ADAS. You get adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, autonomous emergency braking. Now this is the only MPV in its class that comes with adaptive cruise control. This is only one of the few that comes with lane keep assist. The only other MPV in its class that comes with lane keep assist is the Hyundai Stargazer. Now let's talk about the screens. These are definitely the best looking screens in its class. The resolution is much better than its competitors, and it's also much better integrated into the dashboard. Now you get Apple CarPlay, but you don't get Android Auto. Instead you get a phone mirroring app if you have an Android phone. Now this also gets a 360 camera. Now among its competitors, only the Toyota Veloz has a 360 camera, but the one on the M6 is definitely much better. The resolution is much better, and you can also rotate the view. And the fact that you can view it on a bigger screen makes the details more visible. Now I like the fact that a lot of the controls are physical. Like you get physical buttons for adjusting your temperature, your fan speed. By the way, this has dual zone climate control. You got an electronic parking brake without a hold. In terms of storage, you have a pretty decently sized glove box. You have storage underneath the armrest. It's quite deep, as you can see. You also have one 12-volt outlet over here. You have two cup holders. You have a place here to store your phone vertically. Unfortunately, you don't have storage underneath the center console over here, and you don't have a wireless phone charger. You have one USB-A port over here and one USB-C port. Yeah, and you also have a panoramic sunroof, which you don't have on any of its competitors. Definitely the second row of the M6 Pro looks a lot better than its competitors. For one, you get dual captain seats at the second row. They're both manually adjustable. They're quite supportive. You also got these soft butterfly headrests over here, which cradle your head when you're asleep, so you don't sway left and right so much. You get this footrest over here, so you can put your feet at a more comfortable angle. Space is quite good. They have quite a lot of knee room over here. Headroom is also quite good. Each seat gets its own armrest. You get one USB port over there, and also one USB port on the seat. You get dedicated fan controls for the second row over here. Your air convents are up here. Now, unlike the Xpander, this actually feeds cold air into the second row. It's not just an aircon blower. You also get retractable cup holders over here. Now, the third row seats of most MPVs and crossovers feel pretty cramped. In here, you don't feel as cramped. For one, since you don't get bench seating at the second row, you get a good view of the front of the vehicle. Plenty of light also gets through here. In terms of space, they have quite a bit of knee room over here. That's about 4 inches. Headroom is pretty decent at about 3.5 inches. The seats can recline. You do have 3 headrests over here. The seats are supposed to accommodate 3 people. Now 3 smaller adults or 3 kids can probably fit here comfortably, but I think 3 people of my size would be a tight fit. Now the flooring is quite flat, although the railing for the second row seats do get in the way of my feet. I do have one USB-A port over here, one cup holder. The same on the other side, one USB-A port, one cup holder, one aircon vent on each side. It blows very cold air. There is no center armrest over here. And yet, to exit the vehicle, you'd have to pass in between the 2 second row seats, which can be a problem if you're a bit on the wide side. Okay, so the M6 Pro has 177 horsepower and 270 Newton meters of torque, which is a lot more than budget MPVs like the Xpander, the Stargazer, the Avanza, which all have a little over 100 horsepower. So on the highway, you'll definitely appreciate that extra power, but in stop and go traffic, because it comes with a dual clutch transmission, it can feel a bit jerky. The torque delivery of the M6 Pro is not linear. It has a parabolic curve to it. So if you're coming from a complete stop and you suddenly step on the gas, you might initially feel little power. So you step on it a bit more and then you accelerate more than you expect. So that's how it can feel a bit jerky if you're not used to it. Now I've driven a lot of DCTs now, so I'm used to it. But I did ask someone to drive the car and she didn't seem to notice any lag. So it might be one of those your mileage might vary things. And you might have to test drive it first to find out if it's something that bothers you. When you bring it out on the open road though, that's when you get to appreciate its power advantage over anything else in the same price bracket. It can out-accelerate almost every MPV in its class. But also because it has more power, expect the fuel economy to be not bad but also not excellent. I was able to do 14.9 kpl on the highway and about 8 to 9 kpl in the city. There's a huge difference in refinement between entry-level MPVs like the BRV, the Avanza, and the Ertiga, and the M6 Pro. The ride quality of the M6 Pro is better, noise insulation is much better. On the highway, its 7-speed dual clutch does a better job of keeping the RPM slow than the 4-speed transmissions of the Xpander and the Ertiga. You also don't get the CVT drone of the BRV. Compared to the non-hybrid Xenix, I'd say the NVH levels are about the same. Okay, activating adaptive cruise control. Set the speed to 80 kph. There you go. So right now we have adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist turned on. Okay, so one advantage of the M6 Pro over its competitors is that it comes with full ADAS, which includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, autonomous emergency braking. So right now my foot is not doing anything. As you can see, this is my foot right here, and the vehicle is automatically slowing down and speeding up. So we're now going down to 25. I think we're about to go down to 0 kph. Traffic is really bad along NLEX. As you can see, the autonomous driving features of the M6 Pro work pretty well. My feet are not doing anything and my hands are not doing anything. It's steering itself. And unlike a lot of lane keeping systems, this works in stop and go traffic and also at highway speeds. The lane keep assist system works really well. It doesn't you don't bounce from line to line. It keeps you within the center of your lane.
I've been contemplating all my time. My thoughts make me tired, just running through my mind. Wonder if there's peace I could find instead of always being on the grind. I need a new purpose. I'm looking for...
Okay, so during that entire stretch, I wasn't using my feet and I was just barely touching the steering wheel. It definitely helps reduce driver fatigue, whether you're stuck in stop and go traffic like this or whether you're on very long road trips. It's quite a convenient feature to have. Now there's a huge price gap between the base model and the top of the line GL. The base model only sells for 1,230,000 pesos. So that's a 368,000 peso price gap. If you go for the base model, you don't get a leather steering wheel, you don't get front seat heating, you don't get anti-glare rear view mirrors, side and curtain airbags, you get smaller 16-inch wheels, you get fabric seats, you get 4 speakers instead of 8, it only gets a reverse camera instead of a 360 camera, and it lacks all ADAS features. If those things are things that you can live without, then the base model might be the one for you. For the first few minutes that I was shooting the car, I thought it was priced at 1.4 million pesos. And that's why I compared it to the Xpander in some parts of the video. Now at that price, it would definitely crush the Xpander. But apparently, the price is actually 1.598 million pesos. That's a significantly higher number, and that would put it in the line of fire of the base model Innova Xenix, which also has captain seats and similar power figures. The interior of the M6 Pro is far superior to the base model Xenix, which only has fabric seats, no panoramic sunroof. The M6 Pro also has ADAS, which the base model Xenix lacks. If I would just judge the M6 Pro based on its features, interior quality, refinement, I would say that it's fairly priced. It's not quite a steal like the M Zoom or the M Pow. I wish it came with a power liftgate and nicer leather on the seats, but compared to mainstream brands at the same price, it's still better equipped. The pricing might make some raise their eyebrows, but one thing that GAC has proven when they launched the GS8 at 2.48 million was that they could go up market and people would still buy.